Good. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Thursday, January 5th, 2023. 2023. I just can't get over it being 2023. Anyway, listen, guys, we're going to talk about the economy right now. I'm going to get the chart started, and they put in good jobs numbers, surprisingly good jobs numbers that came in, and this is bad news for investors out there. Because whenever good news comes in, it's actually bad news now. So if you can understand that. Anyway, but it's got to do with the Fed and their actions of controlling the whole world's economy through market manipulation. But we're going to get this chart started right here and take a look at what's going on. So we start the charts right here. So I was looking at an article on Zero Hedge, and I'm just going to cover the main points. It says, is there a way to stop inflation without crushing the economy and killing the dollar? Well, I'm just going to tell you guys, I wanted to look at this article, and I was interested in it, because I thought maybe he had some sort of a way. I mean, I'm all for it. Somebody might have some new idea out there or something, have a way of stopping inflation. I don't know how to stop it. Ultimately, it's going to end in hyperinflation if it's not stopped. So I wanted to read this article and find out if he knew something I didn't know. But I'll just read the highlights. He said, one of the most dishonest games being played in economics today is the attempt by various groups, political and financial, to detect blame for the rise of inflation. They want to blame Russia, they want to blame the war in Ukraine, they want to blame this, they want to blame that, but all the inflation was already going before any of that happened. And what's the real blame for inflation? Government spending. Government spends the dollars into existence, and you have to have more dollars out there in existence all the time, more dollars chasing smaller and smaller amounts of goods. Now, you got to understand there is a second cause of inflation, and that's things like supply shortages, bottlenecks in the distribution of items, like shipping, freight charges, everything else adds to inflation. The cost of oil going up adds to inflation. These are things that add to inflation. All this problems is not going to go away. He said, that said, too much money chasing too few goods is not the only problem we face as a nation. There's also the issue of global interdependency, which I've been going on about for ages, this interdependency within the system, which makes us vulnerable, extremely vulnerable to having the system all of a sudden just collapse and leave everybody hanging high and dry. He says, in our reliance on other countries, some of them hostile for the production of resources. Talk about your huge problems. Things like China producing most of the world's rare earth minerals. Things like gold and silver production, being all the quantity of gold and silver being snatched up by the East. Things like that. Anyway, he goes on to talk here quite a little bit about the monetary decline in the United States and how they need to produce the majority of their own goods again. Ain't going to happen anytime soon. So that cure, we might as well just forget about that. That just ain't going to happen. Carbon control initiatives, he says, in the West are actually forcing companies to produce lower quality goods with substandard designs in the name of saving the environment. That's just going to add to inflation. So that's not going to help. He says today it's all about quantity because quantity makes a bigger profit. What about food? He says, this is a major part of the inflation problem. Well, the federal government actually pays farmers to grow less food in order to keep prices higher on the commodities market. He says, why not just stop doing that? So on and on it goes, and basically where we come down to in the end is there's no real clear-cut solution. We're just going to continue on with inflation. It's going to get hotter because the Fed can't continue with this method that they're trying to do right now by basically raising interest rates and doing quantitative tightening. This method will surely but surely destroy the economy that we have. And they'll have to stop with that, and then they'll have to stimulate on the other side of it, which means massive inflation's coming down the pike. Now what I wanted to look at here is, I wanted to talk about this. There's an experimental cancer vaccine. And evidently it says a team of scientists are looking to turn cancer on its own worst enemy. Their experimental vaccine candidate uses tumor cells. These are modified tumor cells to deliver a toxic payload to the rest of the cancer, making it easier for the immune system to target and remember the cancer in the future. In new research, the vaccine delivered promising results against the most common forms of brain cancer, at least in mice. So they're working on mice right now, and evidently they have a cancer cure for mice. But you know, it can very quickly transfer into humans, this cancer cure. And basically, I guess they just give you a shot, a vaccine shot, and then your cancer goes away. So this is right around the corner, guys. Can you imagine a cure for cancer? I'm going to tell you, in my family alone, I've had 2 people die of cancer. Cancer's a terrible scourge. So a cure for cancer? We must be getting close to the verge of our medicine being able to cure cancer soon. Probably within the next 5 years. This is what it looks like to me anyway. Which is to be tremendous. Okay, silver today. We're going to take a look. I just figured I'd mention that to you guys, you know. So, one of the things is an awful lot of people out there are scared of vaccines. But heck, I mean, if you had a big brain tumor and they say you're going to die in 2 months, you know, and we can give you a shot in the arm and you'll live for 20 more years. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, if they get a cure for cancer, this is a totally different animal because it's you know, I know a lot of people don't trust vaccines and stuff, but heck, you know, I mean, if I got bitten by a rabid animal out there and they said, okay, you can have rabies or you can have this vaccine, I'd say, give me the vaccine any day, you know, rather than catching rabies. And I think a lot of other people would agree with me on that one, you know. I mean, there is a time to be frightened of things like that, but there is a time when you just got to roll up your arm, because if you got a big brain tumor in your head growing, yeah, sure, give me the shot if they got it, you know. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and have a tumor grow on me and get rid of it with a shot. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, silver price today is down 40 cents for absolutely no reason on earth. How do I get rid of that ad? That's a nuisance ad. 23.34 is down 40 cents. Let's take a look at gold. Where is the thing that says gold here? Well, we'll move on. I can't find it. So, cryptos today. We're looking at Bitcoin at 16,829 and Ethereum at 1,248 right now. Looking at the S&P 500 at 3,814 is down 38.77 on the day. The markets are down because of a good jobs number. So good news makes the markets go down because they figure that the Fed will stick to their guns longer. The Fed will continue with quantitative tightening longer if they get good jobs numbers. Jobs is one of the things that they look at to continue with their quantitative tightening and their program of raising interest rates longer. And so this makes markets go down. Taking a look at the Dow Jones, they're down 365 points on the day. Now, crude oil. 72.81 today. Bonds and rates. We're looking at, excuse me guys, just for 1 second. Bonds and rates today, we are looking at a U.S. 10-year at 3.76, 5.2 basis points to the upside. We're looking at a U.S. 30-year at 3.84, and it's up 2.3 basis points today. Now checking the dollar index today is at 104.99. The dollar's going up today. So the dollar's getting stronger. Yeah, the dollar's getting stronger on this good news. Because they know that you can see right here, okay, it's up to 105. You can see right here very clearly that the Fed is supporting the dollar. Because this means the Fed's going to offer the support for longer because jobs data is good. It means they're going to hang in there longer with their monetary tightening policies, which supports the dollar. And you can see it today very directly with the dollar going up. Now, the reverse of this is when things happen that turn the Fed and change their direction, and then the dollar is going to go down. And quite drastically. So, thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.